What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome to CHGO Bulls Pregame, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download their app. Be sure to use promo code CHGO when you sign up. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. My guy, BAWL Sports. He's Big Dave.
That was so good.
Thank you.
He nailed it. He nailed it.
That was really good.
Yeah, practicing.
He brought it. He brought it.
Well
Our
done.
pal producer, Joey Spath, is rocking the controls. Follow him, too. He is at Joey Spath. We are CHGO_Bulls. The Bulls are back. All-Star break is over. Bulls begin the final stretch of the regular season. 23 games left. They face the Brooklyn Nets tonight.
Yes.
Trying to salvage a season that is circling the drain.
Damn.
I mean, it is what it is. The Bulls are in 11th place.
Oh, yeah.
The Bulls are 26-33.
Yes.
7 games under 500.
Yes, they are.
Not great.
Not the greatest.
And these Brooklyn Nets are one of the teams in that 6-game losing streak that the Bulls had coming into the All-Star break. And that game, which the Bulls lost in spectacular fashion, well, I think the fourth quarter they got outscored like 37-19 or something.
Yes.
That was the Brooklyn Nets amidst their trade frenzies of selling off Kyrie, Irving, and Kevin Durant.
Correct.
At that point, Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie had been activated coming from Dallas in that Kyrie trade.
Yes.
But Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges were not yet activated coming back in the Kevin Durant trade. They still managed to beat the Bulls. But now you look at what this Brooklyn Nets team has. With all of these pieces they got from the trades of Kyrie and KD,
right,
plus all of their existing pieces. And some might say, oh, they're basically giving up because they traded away Kevin Durant and Kyrie. That phase of the Brooklyn Nets is officially over.
Done.
But this is still a lot of talent on this team, Dave.
This is the most exciting young Brooklyn team since, like, Jason Kidd was there. Like, it's been a while since they've been young and exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they went, they were trying to, just be in the playoffs and things like that, going and get Kevin Garnett, you know what I'm saying? Just getting the big splash names, and things like that. And were a toe away, from fulfilling their goal. But didn't work out for them that way. But this team that they have, if you're just looking at it, you're like, no, this is a good, solid team right here. I mean, you got Claxton out here, of course, but you got Spencer Dinwiddie, who we all love, and Mikal Bridges, who was a guy I think we all wanted out of the draft when he was coming out. Everybody just kind of knew he was an NBA player. Like, you love looking at those guys who were, like, ready-made for the NBA.
Yeah.
You automatically knew, no matter what team he went to, and it ended up being Philly, but no matter what, and Philly traded him, but no matter what team he went to, you're like, yeah, I see the fit. Yeah, I see the fit. Yeah, I see the fit. And then he comes out, and then when his first game's there, drops 43?
45.
45.
45.
45 in his game, man, and did it really efficiently. Wasn't just chucking shots up there. Wasn't just chucking threes or anything, man. He was getting to the bucket. And, yeah, had a really great game, just showcasing his skill and how good of a basketball player he really is, man. But, yeah, they're a young and exciting team. I didn't even mention Joe Harris with the
Cam Thomas, who had that string of games before the All-Star break where he was dropping 40 every night.
Yes, man. Yes, God, the Cam Thomas experience.
They got Royce O'Neal.
Linsanity, too.
Joe Harris and Yuta Watanabe teamed up to just kill the Bulls behind the three-point line. Both, I think they combined for 10 or 11 threes off the bench in that Bulls loss to Brooklyn on the other side of the All-Star break.
Crazy.
Like, they got a good team, and the interesting thing is that at least from a couple of games that they got once everybody was activated after those trades, before the All-Star break, their new starting 5, 4 of that starting 5 are guys they got in those trades.
Wow.
It's Claxton, who was already there, but Bridges, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Dinwiddie.
That's crazy.
That's their starting 5. They basically have a brand new starting 5.
That is, and it doesn't look like they've missed a beat. It looks like they've been playing together for a while, man. There was definitely a chemistry with those guys, man. So they just didn't get people back. They got really solid pieces that fit. And, they have a really good coach. I've always liked Jacques Vaughn, and I always feel like he was a good coach, especially with younger players, man. I remember him in Orlando. I always felt he was a good coach with those younger guys. And even with the older guys, they had the respect for him. When they got rid of Steve Nash, everybody was on board. You didn't hear anything else out of that team as far as basketball was concerned and their coaching issues were concerned when Jacques Vaughn got in there. He's a really good coach. So, Yeah, man. It's a good fit all around for them, and they're exciting. And the Nets have always been like my number 2 team, like since I was a kid. For some reason, I've always liked the Nets, man. They always have.
It's because you're a huge JK guy.
I'm just saying, even before that, like even when they had like Derek Coleman and Chris Morris and Drazen Petrovic was my guy.
Man.
I loved Drazen Petrovic. But yes, it definitely helped when you got my man Jason Kidd on there. It definitely elevated it. But yeah, I've always have liked the Nets and those unis. They had the blue ones. I always liked those very much. But yeah, man, they have a really good team. The Bulls are definitely up for a challenge tonight.
So I see some people already talking about it in the comments. The Bulls starting lineup is out. It has been released by the Bulls a few moments ago. It's different. We're going to talk about that coming up next. Big Dave, what do you always say, Billy Donovan? Not beholden to any lineup?
To any lineup. This is the Billy I want. We'll get into it.
He's proven it again.
This is the Billy I want.
First, a quick shout-out to our friends at DraftKings. While I'm giving the shout-out to DraftKings, do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button if you're watching along with us on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it.
Click that.
Make sure you get a same-game parlay in for tonight's Bulls-Nets game. You still got plenty of time to get that done. And it's an NBA no-sweat same-game parlay, meaning if your parlay doesn't hit, it's okay because you get a bonus bet back.
What?
That's a no-risk parlay.
No risk?
Boosted odds, all that good stuff.
Ooh.
Plus, all new DraftKings Sportsbook users, if they use promo code CHGO at sign-up, can get a offer of a $5 bet on any NBA action for $200 instantly bonus bets.
Not bad.
Bet 5 to get 200. Incredible stuff.
I dig it.
Don't forget that promo code CHGO when you sign up.
Don't you do it.
DraftKings.
Don't you do it.
Wonder if there's some brave Bulls fans out there betting the Bulls part of the line tonight.
Ooh.
Now that most of us have given up hope, the Bulls are going to surprise us and beat this Brooklyn Nets team that, yes, doesn't have its superstar power anymore, but is a talented team that beat us.
A talented team that beat it and can shoot threes and can rebound and things like that. And again, that's where the Bulls have been getting destroyed. So we'll see if that continues. I mean, they have a blueprint for it because they already beat the Bulls with it. So we'll see, man.
So, okay, starting lineup.
Let's do it.
I was going to talk in pregame about where we thought Billy would use Pat Beverley.
Yes.
Where, meaning like in the rotation. Where is he going to play him as a point guard? Is he going to play him as a shooting guard? Where is he going to fit in? Maybe people were thinking, Pat Bev, he'll come off the bench at least to start. Nope. Patrick Beverley is in the starting lineup for his first game as a Chicago Bull. Your starting 5.
21.
Pat Bev, Zach, DeMar, Alex Caruso, and Vooch.
Yes.
The young guys, Io and Patrick Williams, sliding to reserve roles. They will come off the bench tonight. Big Dave, your reaction to this lineup change by Billy?
Excitement. I'm excited about it. I honestly thought Patrick would start. I had this in my text chain conversations with my brothers. Shout out to my brothers and my nephews. But I was telling them there that I think he'll start, honestly. I just felt like he would start. And it's interesting because Billy was like, he doesn't even know the terminology yet. You know what I'm saying, about all the plays. And he's still like, get your ass out there in the starting lineup. The other lineup, why I like this so much, is the other lineup I really wanted to see was him, Patrick Beverley, and Alex Caruso. That's who I wanted to see together because I feel like they can form the most annoying backcourt in the NBA because they will get on your nerves. Both of them guys will get on your nerves. And if I can throw Io in there at some point in time during the game, that could be a problem for the other team, man. So I'm excited to see this. Like I get to say that Billy Donovan is not beholden to any lineup because, damn it, he's been beholden to that shit all season long. My God, he's been holding on tight, to a lineup, man. So this is going to be really interesting, man. I'm really happy fun to see.
Maybe Billy is thinking that he can kind of recapture some of the magic we saw last season when Caruso was on the floor with Lonzo Ball.
Yes.
Two just frenetic energy level defenders, getting that, setting that tone on the perimeter defense, creating all of those fast break opportunities for the Bulls. That was a big part of the easy way that they generated offense when they got out to such a hot start last season.
Correct, man.
Because we know that this is not a great half court offense team.
Right. They
supplemented that with a lot of fast break, and that stemmed from the defense of Caruso and Lonzo on the perimeter.
Absolutely right.
This is fascinating. And, I mean, PatBev was a starter this season with the Lakers.
He was.
Every single game he played for the Lakers, 45 games, 45 starts.
That's true.
I was surprised, honestly, when I saw that because, I've been keeping an eye on the Lakers, mostly rooting against them and hoping they fail because it's fun. But I assumed that there was some mixture of PatBev starting and coming off the bench for them over the course of the season. No, man. 45 games, 45 starts. He will continue that streak of starting every game he plays this season in his first game in a Bulls jersey. That's wild.
Dude, and how awesome is it for him to come into the place he's always wanted to play and gets to hear his name be called by our guy, Tim Sinclair.
Shout out to Tim. I wonder if he is going to get the from Chicago treatment.
Bulls Troy just said that.
Yeah, I wonder, man.
Shout out Troy, our guy.
Why wouldn't he? Like, seriously, why wouldn't he get that treatment? He is from Chicago.
That's what Io's been getting in his starting lineup introductions.
Hey, if you're from Chicago, Io, Derek, he's from Chicago, ain't he? I think he continues to get it, and fans are going to go insane, man. I'm excited for him to feel that, honestly, because he talked about it a lot, about what it means to put that jersey on and play for his hometown team and how he's been trying to get here. So it means something to him. It's got to mean even more to hear your name be called in the introduction of a world-famous introduction, man. So I'm excited to see it, honestly.
It's a little bit bittersweet for me because it does spell the end of the Patrick Williams first basket run.
I don't know. We could have a 0-0 game still when PatBev checks in late in the
that
first
is
quarter.
No longer an option. I mean, he's still, so technically, if I still wanted to do it, he's still up on DraftKings. Right. I don't know if it's out of respect or because they don't know that the line has switched yet, but
out of respect.
I'll let you guys know because I will hammer Patrick Beverley first basket tonight. If he's on there, if they update it, because I could totally see him coming in and just jacking one up. But right now, Zach LaVine plus 750.
Oh, I like it.
That's value. What's Vooch at?
Vooch is always the favorite for the Bulls, or one of them. So he's plus 500.
Yeah.
And then Bridges and DeRozan are both plus 550. But then Zach at plus 750.
Man, how do you feel about this change in the lineup?
Given where the Bulls are, try something new.
Okay.
I see people in the comments talking about what this means for Io and Pat. Some like it, some don't. Colin saying Pat getting benched for a buyout hopefully lights a fire in him. Connor saying hopefully coming off the bench will help free up P. Will and Io to take on more of the offensive load. Anthony saying if Pat doesn't cook now, being the main guy on the second unit, don't know if he will become anything. So, we've gone back and forth on this when the young guys are starting versus coming off the bench and what that does for them as far as being involved. And, Io's been having a tough year, hasn't really been able to get into flow offensively. Pat has just been kind of up and down. I think, like, the middle stage of the season for Pat has been better than, say, like the first 15 to 20 games when we were sitting there saying, dude, Pat's giving us nothing every night.
Right.
Maybe as our listeners and viewers in the comments saying, lighting a fire under the guys. Say, hey, we're not just giving you these starting spots.
Yeah.
You got to earn them.
Yeah.
And especially coming out of the All-Star break on a 6-game losing streak.
Yeah, man.
And from their perspective, the goal is still make the playoffs.
Correct.
It's like what DeMar said at practice yesterday. Every game is a must-win game at this point.
Yes.
So if what you had before the All-Star break wasn't working, change it up. And changing it up, including a player you just brought in, why not? See what happens.
Yeah, because you just made a great point. What you're doing wasn't working. So continue to bang your head against that, and it's not working for you. And you're losing? Why? Change it up. See what happens. I also wonder what this means for Dalen Terry as well. As far as does he get that look now still? Does he still get a look? Because it feels like if Billy's experimenting, why not experiment with the guy who actually injected some energy in your team when he got out there and played? So I'm interested to see what his role is going to be going forward, and if Billy's going to roll with that, and to see what Patrick Williams' role is going to be going forward too, man. Because it seems like we need you.
Rob in the comments saying Dalen Terry still needs minutes too. He showed us something. That's what I wonder about, because when Dalen started to get more legitimate minutes before the All-Star break, a big reason why is that the Bulls were shorthanded.
Correct.
You had Derrick Jones Jr. go down. You had Caruso go down. Then you had DeMar getting bothered by that thigh and then the hip. And it was sort of out of necessity that Dalen got thrown in to some substantial minutes off the bench.
Right.
Now, other than Goran Dragic, tonight's injury report is clean.
Yeah.
Caruso's back, obviously in the starting lineup. Derek Jones Jr. healthy and available. DeMar DeRozan, obviously in the starting lineup. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see any Dalen Terry tonight. And I'm not saying I disagree with the fact that he showed us something. I think he very much showed us something, especially when we were forced to watch those putrid efforts by the Bulls leading up to the break.
My favorite word.
And he was the only one out there showing any semblance of a guy who looked like he gave a damn.
That's it.
So I would be in favor of still seeing some Dalen, but given the fact that the Bulls are healthier now than they were before the break, I wouldn't be surprised to see a DNP for Dalen tonight.
We'll see, man. I'm interested to see it and how he feels about Drummond. You know what I'm saying? If he wants to take those minutes. Even though he likes Derek Jones Jr. now, I've seen him in the past not like Derek Jones Jr. at all. So I'm interested to see how those minutes work, man. But, again, it's a great reason to tune in tonight and watch this game, man. There's so many questions that are going to be answered for Bulls Nation tonight, man. And hopefully within that, they'll get a W.
Shout out to Alexis, who said, I just placed a $30 bet on Zach first bucket.
Okay.
Pay out $250. Good luck to you.
Let's go.
Joey convincing the people to make those bets.
Joey does that,
I love
man.
it. Shout out to our guy, AK, who threw us a super chat saying, will the end of the night award remain the Goon, Caruso, or changed to Gollum, PatBev?
Gollum?
Gollum of the night?
Why Gollum?
Has anyone referred to PatBev as Gollum before?
Yeah, I didn't fully get that one.
Yeah, I didn't hear that one either, man. No, bro, it's still Goon of the night. That's how it is.
Still Goon.
We'll still pull that out. Would be Goon of the night. But again, this is what makes me excited because the two players that he's mentioning immediately, the two Goons on the team, are starting together. Like, I just really want to see how that works and how that comes across, man. And yeah, I just feel it's going to be real annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel it's going to be real annoying. PatBev is going to be in somebody's jersey, particularly Spencer Dinwiddie. It's going to be bothering him. Maybe Mikal Bridges, too. Whoever's hot.
Yeah.
That's he's going to put him on to annoy. And then I could put Caruso on the other guy. That's cool. Those are good things. And honestly, this helps guys like Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, who are probably your two worst defenders on the squad.
Yeah.
So it helps guys like that, you know what I'm saying, when they're in the starting lineup. Hopefully frees them up to just focus on scoring and doing what they do out there. Who's getting the rebound and them guys running. They get the steal and their guys running. So I'm interested to see that too, Matt. Does this affect the fast break? Because like you just mentioned earlier, the Bulls are better in transition. We know this. They've been better in transition since last year. It's what they are. So I'm interested to see if this affects that as well.
The other overarching theme of this Bulls losing streak before the break was, of course, their horrendous three-point shooting. It's been bad all season. It was exceptionally bad in their 6 straight losses.
Record-breakingly, historically.
Like barely 20% as a team.
Never
from
happened
3.
in the NBA before bad. Yes.
So PatBev has been talking up a little bit his own game in that, hey, he started to knock down some more threes
Did say this.
in the middle stretch of the season. Joey, do we have those splits from PatBev's season that we can take a look at? So this is PatBev's numbers for the Lakers this season. The full season at the top, and then just
Joey.
December through February at the bottom. Basically, everything's the same. Scoring a tiny bit more, playing basically the same number of minutes. Rebounds and assists are basically the same, but there you see it. Over the full season, he's shooting just shy of 35% from 3. In the games spanning December, January, and the early part of February, nearly 40% from 3. And it's not a huge volume. He's shooting 3, maybe 4 threes a game, but any amount of three-point shooting added to this Bulls roster at this point is helpful.
Any positive amount. Can you put that back up, please, Joey? Any positive amount is incredibly helpful for the Chicago Bulls, man. But, yeah, that's respectable, you know. And like you said, it's low volume. I get that. We understand that. Patrick Williams is low volume also. But it's still 40%. You know what I'm saying? 40% is 40%, okay? So a guy who you probably won't tie that to is Patrick Beverley, no matter if it's low or high volume. So if he's giving you that, and honestly, the 35%, basically the 35% that he was going with is not terrible to me either from a guy like Patrick Beverley.
No, that would still put him close to the top of Bulls players this season.
Exactly, man. Like, exactly. Like, that's average for your NBA thing. You know what I mean? And again, shooting better than Trae Young. I'm not saying that because Trae Young takes 8 threes a game. You know what I mean? I get all that. But the percentage is what it is. And him shooting close to 40% it's still a good thing. So that means he's getting open shots, and he definitely was on that Lakers team getting open shots. Because if anything Russell Westbrook and LeBron will do for you is get your ass open shots. Hopefully we see that with DeMar DeRozan, because teams I don't think are going to change that plan of double teaming DeMar. And so hopefully when that occurs, Patrick Beverley can shoot them out of that double team. So I'm interested to see how that helps DeMar DeRozan. Because I promise if he only hits 2, that's helpful. If he goes 2 for 4, that is helpful. That means you have to think about it now. They didn't have to think about it for a long time, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? All season long, it didn't have to be a thought. Now, if he hits a couple and he gets a rhythm going, they got to think about it, and that's good.
You know, it's interesting to think about, and we talked about this a little bit at the back end of our show yesterday, Bulls fans maybe being divided a bit on whether they want them to double down on trying to make the playoffs, and they've got some work to do on that front, versus maybe steering towards not putting a focus on wins, but a focus on the development of their young players in these final 23 games. And if that gets you a boosted percentage of likelihood that you jump into the top 4 and keep that pick that you still owe Orlando, then maybe that is a better path forward for your team coming into the offseason. This starting lineup from Billy tonight, to me, signifies that they are in on trying to win. Yeah, they are in on trying to win. I mean, I guess you can make the devil's advocate argument that whether it's Ayo or Pat, the young guys going to the bench maybe gives them more opportunities to have a bigger role, especially on the offensive end.
Sure.
At the same time, are you really developing if you're playing against bench players as opposed to playing against your opponent's starting 5?
Great point.
Like, maybe Pat gets more shots up off the bench. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe Ayo gets more going off the bench. Maybe he doesn't.
Yeah.
Either way, I don't know how playing benches develops you better and helps you go through that process of doing better against the league's top competition as opposed to playing off the bench. But maybe this is signifying that that's not what they're concerned about. First and foremost, what they're concerned about first and foremost is making the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's been AK's goal literally since he walked in the door. He was like, I want to go to the playoffs. When you get a guy with that mindset and you get a coach like Billy Donovan who goes to the playoffs, you get a guy like DeMar DeRozan who goes to the playoffs, and you get a hungry Bulls fan base who hasn't seen the playoffs in a long time, this is what you're going to get. Like, he wants to win. Like, he sees value in the winning and getting to the playoffs. He sees that value for his young players and for the guys out there that are in the starting lineup that are veterans as well. There's value in winning. I don't know if y'all know that. It's not just in losing, but there's definitely value in winning basketball games, especially if you're trying to get to the playoffs and get to the play-in and give your team a shot and opportunity. So, like you said, like DeMar DeRozan talked about, man, he has no desire to be sitting home. None. Zero. He wants to go to the playoffs, period, point blank. So if that's his mindset, and we see what Billy's mindset is, like you said right now, we know what the hell Patrick Beverley's mindset is. I just named you the 3 dudes who going to carry some things for the Bulls, man. Everybody else is going to get on the train, and let's ride. Let's get there, man. I shouldn't even say let's ride. That's Russell Wilson. That didn't end well.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be a ride so much as it is a uphill slog. Joey, can we take a look at the
strengthen them calves.
Eastern Conference standings coming out of the All-Star break?
Through the
just
mud.
As a brutal reminder to Bulls fans where we are right now. There you see the Bulls and 11th in the East.
Yeah.
2.5 games back of the Wizards in 10th, holding that final play-in spot.
Yes.
Toronto also there in 9th, having played 2 more games, basically 1 win, 1 loss above Washington. Hawks there, half a game ahead of those 2. Miami with a little bit more breathing room in 7th. And there you see these Brooklyn Nets that the Bulls are playing tonight, holding on to that 5th spot in the East.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have just assumed that they're going to take a big slide now that they have traded away KD and Kyrie. But they are 34-24, 10 games above 500.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised, given the teams between Brooklyn and Chicago right now in that middle part of the standings, to see Brooklyn hold on to a top 6 spot. No. Maybe they slide from 5 to 6, but all those teams in the play-in range, I think Brooklyn has a more talented roster than any of those teams.
I'm saying no, it wouldn't surprise me either. And honestly, those 10 extra games over 500 give you some house money to play with.
Yeah.
While you develop. You know what I mean? Let's say they go on a quick maybe 4-game losing streak. Gives you time to get that out. You know what I mean? And with it being 20-something games left, you know what I mean, it also helps them as well. So they're in like you said, they're in a really great position. They have really great talent and a really solid coach, I think. And the Bulls, like you said, are slog. What you call it? A slog?
Yeah, an uphill slog
through the mud. You know what I'm saying? With their boots on. So everybody is, trying to get there. And right now, the Wizards are up by 12 on the Knicks with about 4 minutes left in the second quarter. So, of course, they're trying to win too, you know. So I think the interesting team, Matt, is going to be Toronto. Does Toronto want to continue to be there in the play-in, or do they want to get into Wembanyama sweepstakes?
Yeah.
Because they obviously were making some moves also at the deadline.
And a lot of people thought leading up to the deadline, one of the big names that kept coming up was OG Anunoby, and whether or not they would decide to use that deadline as the opportunity, the moment in time to pull that trigger, trade him off, get what they could get for him, and steer closer to that tank because their season wasn't going the way that they envisioned it. But they held on. Didn't see that the offer that they love for OG kept him, and are they still trying to stay somewhat involved? It's going to be fascinating. Last thing here, we're closing in on 7:00 Chicago time. As we talk about PatBev being inserted into the starting lineup, Io going to the bench, and the fact that this, other than Goran Dragic, whose minutes had already been recently shaved down from Billy, is a healthy Bulls team now. What do we see happening with Kobe White's minutes? Because Kobe has been playing really well. He had a little bit of a mini cold shooting streak in their, in their games leading up to the break, but we've been talking about how he's been playing way more lockdown, engaged defense, and even getting to the rim, facilitating a little bit. Even when his shots weren't falling, he was positively impacting some of these games in his role off the bench. Do we see Kobe's minutes diminish now that PatBev is here and starting, or do we see Io's minutes diminish instead of Kobe's?
That's going to be the question. I mean, with Caruso starting, it helps both of them, honestly, as far as the fact of them getting that playing time and getting in there in that second unit. I don't know about the fourth quarter, though, as far as Kobe is concerned, because remember, Kobe, that had become the staple. If Kobe would start that fourth quarter and then go to the bench, and if Caruso was healthy, he'd be out there. So I'm interested to see if that will continue or not. It's interesting. So obviously I'm seeing Kobe and Io playing together and, having that second unit, obviously along with Patrick Williams. And we'll see, because they can go small if they want with, Derrick Jones Jr. or Drummond. They have those kind of options to kind of play with. So I still think there's space, and Dalen Terry as well. So there's still space for Kobe to do his thing. But there's no starting space for Kobe to do his thing. And I don't know about the fourth quarter. We'll see how hot he is. I think that's what it would be dependent on that. It won't be, okay, you turned it on in the fourth quarter. No, you're going to have it on, you know what I'm saying, when you get in the game. Oh, shit, Kobe's hot. All right, let's ride him. You know what I mean? Let's gotta go with him. So that's what's going to be the determining factor, I think, about Kobe getting that minutes.
Yeah, Colin in the comments mentioning the closing lineup is what I'm curious about because you know that Zach, DeMar, Vooch will be out there, probably Caruso, because Billy likes to have Caruso out there late in games.
Yes.
Is PatBev out there to close?
That's going to be a great I don't know how you keep PatBev if he's playing well. There will be games where PatBev won't play well.
Right.
That's going to happen. So if he's playing well. So, and again, this lineup just tells me that Billy might be back to those old ways that I love so much. Like, okay, fine. You ain't working, then let's try you. Oh, you ain't working? Well, let's try you and get in there and do some things. That's the Billy Donovan I love and enjoy, man. And the Bulls are better for it, and we are better for it. I promise you. Let's go watch a game. I just want to see this. Let's go see what happens.
Let's do it. It is 7 o'clock here in Chicago. That means tip-off is just moments away. Still got a few minutes to get in your same game parlay on DraftKings. Make some picks. Maybe make Zach LaVine first bucket getter of the night.
Joey's
those
picking
plus
the night.
750 odds. Also, Alexis, I did see that comment earlier. They said if that hits, they're coming back and dropping us a big old super chat as part of their winning.
Oh, so that's what's up.
Going to hold you to that.
All right.
We will be right back here in these same chairs for post-game in a couple of hours. In the meantime, we are on Twitter, Bulls_Pack, BAW, BAWL Sports.
Give me them
Joe
likes.
Mathis, CHGO_.
And more
Bulls.
likes. Come on, we got 200 people
200
watching.
people watching. We can't get no likes.
We get to 100 likes. It's a good omen
y'all
for
like
the
our
Bulls
shoes
tonight.
And stuff and things. Come on, throw us some likes up in there.
I know JR from
Show
Grand
us that you
Rapids hit
like
the
it.
like button already.
This man just wants his
Just
likes.
a couple likes, you know what I'm saying? I didn't realize that many people up in here, man. You know,
Get
thank
this
y'all
man
for
his
being
likes.
here.
210 people ready for Bulls
You
basketball.
know what I'm saying? Like, come on up in here and toss us a couple likes, man. Just give me the likes.
Bulls Troy?
Give me the likes.
Give me the likes.
Bulls Troy wishing your son the best at basketball practice.
Say it again. Who is?
Bulls Troy. I'm wishing his son the best at basketball. He's kid's a bucket. Could be a
I remember you telling us
future Bowl 2027.
Yeah. I remember.
Remote assistant coach Joseph Spathis.
Yes. Coach.
All right, y'all. Let's see if the Bulls can get a W here. End the 6-game skid. Either way, we'll be right back here for post game. We'll talk to you then. See you, Red. Be good. Go Bulls.
Peace.
Let's go Bulls.
Thumbs up.